We've all had this moment. It's 3 a.m., you're hanging out with your boys, and you guys probably had a little too much to drink. And you guys think you're the greatest match for the greatest podcast to be ever released in the world. You guys get together, you guys create the best business plan that ever existed. So next few weeks, you get the boys to pitch in, you get the other boys to pitch in. You guys even managed to get the broke ass friend to throw in some money into this. You guys get together and boom, you guys made the first episode of your podcast ever. And things after that seem to be going well. All you gotta do, just gotta get together, keep doing this, and after doing it for a while, you have a successful business, successful podcast. End of story. But after a couple months, no one seems to have come over. Everyone seems to have been caught up on their own plans. Now you're stuck with the uninteresting friend, but he's down to put in some effort. The only problem is he's not that funny. After what has seemed to have been a perfect business plan, after one good night, you quit. And for this reason, and for many other reasons, this is why motivation fucking sucks. Or, sorry, motivation is overrated. This example I gave you may have been a little too obvious for me to tell, but it's something that we do on our own a little too often. It's the same reason when you see seemingly the whole city pull up to the gym the first week of the year, and the next month it looks like a ghost town. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels good when you get that initial spark from motivation. But that's the problem, is that it's a feeling. Feelings fade, and if you don't have anything to back up that goal, it's gonna fade literally as quickly as that feeling came. Well, we've identified the problem, but now how do we fix it? Well, people like stories, and stick with me here. People love stories. People get attached to stories. It's the only reason why you binge a show for so long, is because you're waiting to see what's gonna happen next. And that's why I believe you should make that goal your story. So the goal is no longer fueled by motivation, but now the person that you become when you reach that goal. And now whenever you don't reach the goal, you never fail. You're just building your story. Now, some can see this as romanticizing, but I call it character development. Now, when I was 18, I set a plan to buy my first rental property. So I read all the books, I listened to all the podcasts, listened to all the audiobooks, read all the books that I needed to, so I was pumped. I was ready to go. After that, I put my head down and I went to work. Now, when I worked, it felt like even on my worst days, I felt like I could get up, because it felt like it was something that I was supposed to go through. The bad days seemed like this was supposed to happen. And even if it hurt temporarily in the moment, it felt like nothing really fazed me, because all of it was part of the plan. All of it was expected. And eventually, all of this pain is gonna lead me to my goal. So you could say I had a strong vision. I knew where I was going. I knew what the next few years would look like. I could vision what the next 10 years would look like. Well, a couple of years had went by of me working as much as I could. I finally saved up enough, found the realtor, I found the lending officer. I did what I was supposed to do, and I found a good home. Put down the down payment. I fixed up the house. And I remember looking back and saying, I did this. But shortly after, I felt nothing. Years of hard work, years of lots and lots of research, and my final conclusion was, I am lost. This was something that felt completely devastating, because it had been my bread and butter for years. I'd worked for this. I put time into this. This was what I wanted. And this was my story. The only problem with that is that my story lacked substance. There was no depth. Ending of my story was the house. So I had a lot of motivation throughout that time. And I did have a really strong vision that really did keep me going. But ultimately, it was simply not enough. So I could argue motivation didn't really do much for me. Matter of fact, motivation didn't do anything for me at all. What's the point of motivation when your goal doesn't even mean that much to you? What's the point when your story doesn't even mean that much to you? Now listen, if your end goal looks like buying that house and just that, then so be it. I can't convince you. But if you're like me, I want my life to be more than just the house. Your goal needs meaning. Your goal needs a purpose. Your goal needs a story. It's what's gonna ultimately make you care about really getting there. And bottom line, it's what's gonna make you even more consistent over time. And the more you can do of that, and the closer you can get to being consistent, you'll truly be the closest you'll ever be to your success. Stay positive.